This is Splash Pages.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
You are, in fact, watching The Dorkening.
You're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned.
For all the geek news everywhere. Dorkening.
And this is The Dorkening. Trust me, I'm smarter than these guys.
Because The Dorkening is the best and most educational entertainment and information source that the Trauma team knows of. It's the best. The Dorkening.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for, and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You're watching Splash Pages. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome show for you, as always. And as always, the Velvet Joker. How's it going, bud?
It's going great. How you guys doing tonight? I hope everyone's having a great evening. I'm certainly having a great evening because my creative thing has been off the chain. And I'll tell you about it later, perhaps in the news. But right now, let's send it over to my good buddy, Jar Jar Jeremy.
Hey, Velvet, you're such a card. Talking about the shirt, of course, pun intended. How's it going? It's Tuesday night, Splash Pages. We're here, you're there. Let's enjoy it.
Awesome. Now, Drew.
I'm sorry, I was just distracted while we had our Jeremy's dentist show up for the show. So, snap. Hi, everyone. I'm Drew. We got a really great spooky show tonight. A lot of good stuff coming. So, stay tuned. Splash Pages. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ben should be joining us soon, and we'll be talking about Séance Room. But before he gets on, we will cover some news items if you guys are up for that.
Yes. All right. So let me get the heavy stuff out of the way first, and then we can get to the news, okay?
We need to come up with like some dramatic or like somber music for this.
Yeah, just boom, boom.
Oh, I got a new thing to do.
Oh God. Yeah, John Williams me an entrance. You know.
Now it's time for Drew's
Death Notes. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Death Notations. I'm your scary. I can't do this. Okay, so there are two sad deaths that we have to bring up in the nerd/entertainment world. The first one that I can think of is, I'm sorry to say we didn't mention it last show. I don't know if it come up around then, but Lance Reddick, a prolific, fantastic actor, passed away at the age of, I believe it was 60. Yeah, 60. Apparently, it's still considered that it might have been natural causes. Lance, as Velvet pointed out, was famously, among his roles, known for playing Baltimore Police Department Officer Cedric Daniels on The Wire. Great show. He was also on Fringe, Boss, Oz, and he also made appearances on Lost.
John Wick? That voice, man.
Okay, you got Leo. I'm getting there. While he has other credits in Angel Has Fallen, Godzilla vs. Kong, he's most famously known lately as Sharon, the concierge at the Continental in the ever popular John Wick universe / films.
Yes. And that name is also the name of the boatman that brings you to hell on the River Styx.
Indeed. Thank you, Mr. Greek Mythology. Nice hairdo. So the good news is that Lance did have some unreleased projects in the works. One of them, he was supposed to play Zeus in the upcoming Disney Plus series Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So that's something to look forward to. And also a little project near and dear to my heart. He was to voice Hellboy in the upcoming video game Hellboy Web of the Word. Word, weird, either way. At which Hellboy creator Mike Mignola was among many, including Keanu Reeves and other co-stars and people who worked with Lance to offer tributes to him. Very sad. Sad we won't get to see him again. I don't think anybody else could be behind that desk with such presence. So definitely
lost the entertainment world.
Yeah. I just want to note a couple things. Jar Jar, thanks for mentioning Fringe. I absolutely love that show.
Scary.
But if you know me, I'm a huge Horizon Forbidden Dawn, Horizon, just that series is just amazing. He plays Silence in that game. So the second game's out right now. I think there's like a 3D version, like a VR version. But also Burning Shores is about to be released, and I believe he's in that as well.
And he was considered one of the only good things of the short-lived Netflix Resident Evil series, where he played the series villain Wesker. So
he's also like one of the only celebrities that I follow or followed on Facebook, because the guy was such a ray of sunshine every time he posted a video or something.
Agreed.
He had a great personality. Really nice guy.
And then, speaking of other great personalities, another lost the comic book world. This one more specifically, Silver Age inker Joe Giella passed away recently at 94. Joe is he did start at Marvel, but he's more famously known for his DC work. He was an inker during the Silver Age, working for such greats as Carmine Infantino in his legendary Flash run, and working with the, of course, also legendary Gil Kane in his Green Lantern run, and was also an inker during a time when Batman basically made it to TV and really escalated himself further and further to become the pop culture phenomenon we know now. I myself never got to meet Joe. I do know that he had been at a few of the terrific cons that I had gone to. I'm a little sad that I never had a chance to meet him. I imagine he seemed pretty nice from a distance.
I always don't know what to say to the legends besides, man, loved your work, and like, you're a legend. Like he'd be sitting there behind the table, and I saw him a few times and be like, oh man,
I think, Jeremy, it's hard because especially with these older people, you want to make it worth the while, but also on top of it, some of them, you don't want to, you know what it is? You don't want to feel like a bother. You know what I mean? You want to feel like you have something profound to say versus something maybe they've heard a million times, but it's still you saying that to them, you having that moment. And even if you don't have anything to sign, I think it's still really nice to say that you're a fan, that you enjoyed the work, and, maybe the next time said. So, I mean, lesson learned, I mean, absolutely. Definitely when we're at TorqueCon this year, we're definitely going to just have to do
no lost opportunities.
No lost opportunities. Cross them all off. Leo, just cut the check. We got this.
Right, so did I tell you guys I bought the booth already for TorqueCon?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yay.
Yeah, we already started a GoFundMe to pay you back, so don't worry.
No.
So, so that's all I have for somber notes. So take it away, Leo.
Yeah. So first thing we'll bring up is this was released, I believe, yesterday on Disney Plus. Disney, they had the image up for Secret Invasion coming out June 21st, but I believe they pulled it quite quickly. But internet sleuths were able to grab a screenshot. So I'm not sure why they pulled it, but unless they're looking to change date. But from what I know, Secret Invasion will lead into Armor Wars, and it's the return of Sam Jackson's Nick Fury.
Nice.
I blame the Skrulls.
Ultimate Nick Fury.
Yeah, I'm just very confused with the Skrulls, because when I read comics with Skrulls in them back in the day with Fantastic Four, Skrulls were bad, and now it seems Skrulls are just misunderstood, and it's very difficult to understand. What's going on with Secret Invasion.
Well, I think, Jeremy, what they were trying to do with Captain Marvel was establish that not every Skrull,
which is understandable in this day and age. I mean, it makes sense.
I also think it was trying to establish that the Kree, who are responsible for superpowering Captain Marvel and, her teammates and whatnot, that they could also be dicks too, which we who read comics know that pretty much very few alien races in the Marvel world don't suck.
Yeah.
The majority of them either hate humans or have a legitimate beef. So I think it's an ambitious storyline, but I agree, Jeremy, it does feel a little like backpedaling, because first Captain Marvel's like, oh, the Skrulls are the good guys. So you're like, but the Skrulls are also the bad guys.
But Jeremy, what I want you to realize is, every time you meet a Skrull, you have to take every Skrull, you don't know until you get to know that Skrull.
This is going to
be a good Skrull, could be a bad Skrull. You don't know.
Okay, that's it. I know. I now I'm suspect of all of you. I've seen how this goes. I've read the books. It's always the one you don't think, and then suddenly, bam, one of us is dead.
It's the pod people.
So, Secret Invasion, some of the actors returning. Ben Mendelsohn will be returning as Talos.
Right.
we're getting Olivia Colman as Special Agent Sonia Fallsworth. Colby Smulders is Mariah Hill.
Okay.
And, we're getting Kingsley Ben Adir as the Rebel Skrull leader Gravik.
Is that like the Ben Kingsley doppelganger? Kingsley Ben?
Carrie just put up in the comments, hashtag all scrolls matter.
Oh.
Martin Freeman's returning as Everett Ross. That's going to be awesome.
Also, Leo, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Christopher McDonald also supposed to be in the movie as a super undisclosed role? And a lot of people have been theorizing that he could be Norman Osborn in this, which,
yeah. So Christopher McDonald, Carmen Ejogo, and Amelia Clark all have, according to IMDb, their roles. There is no character listed. So, but they are all slated for 6 episodes.
Well, listen,
Amelia Clark.
If Christopher McDonald ends up being a Skrull, we just need to get How to Be Gilmore, because that's how you beat Shooter McGavin. That's what I learned. So,
Shooter McGavin Skrull, that would be great.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No. Move on, next one, Leo.
Okay, well, this one's going to be for you, Drew. This popped up, and I absolutely loved it when I saw it. It's 1991 all over again. So
yes, Leo. Yes. So I heard about this, and this is a remake I can actually get behind, because the top one is the 1991 X-Men issue 1. Wraparound cover. This was a huge deal back in the 90s. I know tons of people, and I think one of them is in this room right now, who had a bunch of these covers just to buy. It's all the same issue, Leo. Remember, it's all the same issue, but it's different covers. And connected, you got this gorgeous Jim Lee masterpiece that has already been made a poster. But I can't think of anybody better doing an homage to it than Alex Ross. I mean, look at that detail. That is just gorgeous.
Yeah. Leo, when you buy it, you got to tell me how much it is, and if it's not too bad.
I'm definitely going to buy it.
I'm throwing down on it.
I am a little ashamed to say that I have 41 copies of X-Men #1.
I still think we should have a giveaway and relieve you of some of them.
How many of the gatefold? Do you have the different variants of each?
Yeah,
one?
I have copies of every single version.
I'm telling you, we should just do like a little contest.
And just like the gatefold.
He's not giving them away. He's like, I'm not giving them away.
I got 2 of them.
I think I have like 10 of them.
Exactly. You should just. I think you can spare one as some sort of like giveaway. I'm not saying give 41 away.
Yeah.
You know, just keep 4 for yourself and then get rid of the rest.
That issue, something like in the millions or billions, something crazy.
It is one of the few comic books in history to make the Guinness World Records for most issues sold.
Yeah.
Insane. So high praise.
So this comes out. It's actually going to be for X-Men's 60th anniversary connecting cover. Mutant Masterpiece, where Ross puts his signature spin on this 90s moment, comes out August 16th, and the title is Uncanny Avengers
issue 1.
Yep.
That's gorgeous.
It looks like it's going to be. It says it's connecting variants, so I'm assuming it's going to be multiple issues.
Also,
so
Leo,
you think over like five issues or something,
probably.
Or do you think also have a gatefold one as well?
Probably.
Also,
both.
Leo, I don't know if you know this, but Marvel has also commissioned a brand new Avengers cover montage from Ross, and that is going to be original design. It's going to feature every major Avenger from the first 3 decades of the book.
Oh wow,
that's a lot of characters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and like my brain is just going overload with classifying. Like I'm just throwing out labels like it's nobody's business, and I think I'm getting a headache. So next, please.
Well, just real quick. So Uncanny Avengers, which I said is coming out August 16th. So it's going to be writer Jerry Dugan and artist Javier Garin. And it's going to be pitted. Let's see. I wrote down the characters. Let me see if I got it. Or maybe I missed it. Yeah, I might have missed it. Deadpool's going to be one of the characters. Psylocke. I'm not sure who else is going to be in
Sounds
it.
about right.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so next on the item is Nicolas Cage did a AMA on Reddit recently.
Yes.
And he was asked if he was to come to the DC Cinematic Universe or the DC Universe.
Okay.
Who would he want to play? And his answer was the Spectre.
Wow. That's, what is it with Nick Cage playing undead heroes? Like he was Ghost Rider before, now he's Dracula, and now he wants to be the Spectre. But I could see that work.
He's a comic book nerd. He probably knows his stuff on this.
He looks like he's having a great time in that Renfield trailer as Dracula.
Yeah.
Oh my! I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to seeing that movie. Like I actually might see that in theaters. That looks so good.
Yeah, I think that's like 2 weeks away.
Yeah, I think it's April 14th.
Yeah, I believe so. It's the middle of the month.
So,
yeah.
So this was his answer from the AMA.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, Jim Corrigan, the Spectre. He would be hard to pull off because he's virtually invincible. He has no weakness. You need characters that have a kryptonite, but have a flaw. But he's kind of unbeatable. That would be a fun one.
Oh, he definitely wouldn't be the main character. He'd have to be like a Justice League or like a Dark Justice League.
I mean, listen, I loved when Jim Corrigan showed up during NBC's Constantine. Like, I thought that was great, and they alluded to him becoming the Spectre in it.
Was really good and got canceled way too soon.
Agreed. But I'm totally for it, and especially if you stick to the Spectre. Jim Corrigan eventually became Crispus Allen. And then there were other people who also were the host for the Spectre. It's kind of I feel like just DC with the mysticalness. They always like having, they're always like roping in other people. Like I noticed that with Dr. Fate's helmet as well. It's like, no, somebody else will take the mantle. Okay, cool. Like,
yeah.
But
Carrie, there's always one Nick Cage hater.
No, she's probably looking at it from another standpoint. I don't know, but I think it could be funny if anything.
Oh yeah, totally. Nick Cage is he's a national treasure.
Oh.
Literally.
Yeah, he's making quite the comeback lately too.
Yes, he is.
In
the B movie world, that dude has been in everything for years.
Holy shit, that horror movie where he didn't say a single word.
Yeah,
Wally's Wonderland.
It started with Wally's Wonderland, and then it moved to the movie where he plays himself.
The unbearable talent of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
That was so good.
I need to watch that. That's on my list this week.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I have to watch.
Yeah,
I'm basically, Leo, my goals are catching up to Mando completely. Nick Cage.
Well, Mando's in that movie, and he's pretty brilliant in it too.
Well, it's Pedro Pascal.
He's everywhere too.
Yeah.
He's got.
Pedro is blowing up right now.
Yeah,
somebody did a crazy 3D printing of his face, and it came out really well. But he's just like smiling all crazy, like
nice. But all right, so Nick Cage could be the Spectre at some point. There's more chance of that than him being Superman. Moving on.
Definitely. Although I wouldn't mind him being Superman either.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're getting new Superman releases this year.
You could always
we talked
Superman.
about it, the 4K release of the Superman movies.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick, I also saw today that they're doing actually all the Fleischer cartoons in their own set.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Leo, do you have any Shazam news? Because I saw that in Shazam 2, I think the guy who originally played Billy Batson in the show has a cameo in the movie.
Really?
I don't remember his name, but I know Mitch has had him as a guest.
Yeah.
Why am I blanking on that right now? He's definitely had him as a guest.
Yeah,
last year, I remember.
Panel last year, yeah. But
Yeah.
he is great for him.
Keep an eye out for it, kids.
Moving on, Lee.
Okay, so this here's a image of Kingpin from
Yes,
again was released.
Looking thinner.
Yeah, he is.
A
So
little older too, but you know.
So let me. Where the hell did my notes go? Okay, so so we get a look at Kingpin, Daredevil, Born Again. So Vincent D'Onofrio recalls Daredevil, Born Again season 2 is already planned.
Wow.
And
yeah, I think I saw that it's a little more definitive that it's definitely going to be in the time of the blip.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why Foggy and what's her name aren't around.
Karen Page.
Karen, yeah.
And he was also recorded saying this at a Comic-Con. I'm going to play the audio. Listen to this.
I have headphones on. I'm trying to listen.
Leo, we can't hear a thing.
So
that's probably exactly what he said.
He said nothing. I know.
Yeah. So
Kingpin.
for those of you that could not hear it, he said that he's been saying this since the Netflix series, but he said eventually he's going to kick Spider-Man's ass.
Oh, that would be so sweet to see.
Yeah.
Oh,
him
boy.
just grab little Peter by his neck and like slam him down. On
Well,
the ground.
I mean, you see,
Like
the thing
your
is,
little bug.
since the Ultimate Universe became is essentially the blueprint for the MCU, if they do that, man, if they throw in some jokes, because in the Ultimate comics, Ultimate Spider-Man always made jokes about Kingpin's weight, and it was funny.
It would definitely be a fantastic thing to see. I think comic book nerds will just erupt.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty great.
Yeah. So one last look of that image before I remove it from the system. I'm excited.
Gone.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
Leo, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was another big announcement in the MCU.
So this image leaked online, but image of a character returning for Captain America 4. Liv Tyler is returning as Betty Ross. Since her father, Thaddeus Ross, is going to be in the movie, played by Harrison Ford. And she was last in the MCU in 2008's Incredible Hulk.
Almost 15 years.
Now, she is the third Incredible Hulk character, Leo, because we have General Ross.
Yep.
We now have Liv Tyler as Betty Ross. So now we have possible Red Hulk or Red She-Hulk. And the third one, Glenn something Nelson as the leader.
Oh, whoa. Really? They said that they're bringing the leader back finally? Yes. That was such a great moment that went nowhere in the Incredible Hulk. And it's just thank God we're finally picking that up.
And also the 2008 Hulk was referenced in She-Hulk.
Indeed it was. Well, they had the Abomination in there. That's a pretty big reference.
No. where Hulk mentions that he was a completely different person. And
oh no, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that.
And then she looked at the camera and was like, literally.
Yep.
It was clever.
Yeah. Okay, the last item I have is this image of Guardians 3 came out today with Rocket.
Yeah, the fuzzy boy.
The guy who does his mocap is going to be at Terrificon. Sean Gunn.
Yeah.
Indeed, he is.
Yeah, Sean Gunn from Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
That's where I know him from, Gilmore
Same
Girls.
here.
Jeremy, the last time you and I saw Sean Gunn, he was partying it up on the rooftop.
Yeah, he was.
Mohegan Sun. He was busting a move.
That was what, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Oh, it was Party on the Rooftop?
Yeah.
Was it the rooftop on the Riverside Garage or the actual rooftop with the pool?
I believe it was the garage.
Okay.
Oh my God, I was at that party.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, so was Rich.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's where Paul Kupperberg threatened to beat us up, Jeremy.
Oh yeah.
Him and his old crew of cronies.
So Total Film is reporting. They reported new image that came out. Guardians 3 is going to be coming out just May 5th, actually. And
Yes.
Gunn tells us the most important thing for me was Rocket's story. And then following that, everybody else. Rocket is the secret protagonist of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He always has been the center of it for me. And this is a really fulfilling that the reason I came back and decided to do the movie was because I really felt that Rocket's story needed to be told and it was left hanging after Volume 2. So that's the most important thing. So Guardians 3 is going to be a Rocket story.
Well, it makes sense, especially considering that it appears that the story's villain, or at least one of the villains, is the High Evolutionary. And in this case, he is linked to Rocket's, I want to say, I don't know if creation is the right word, maybe mutation. Augmentation. Thank you, Rich. That's better.
I like that.
So, I mean, it's going to be a jam-packed movie. You've got all the Guardians. You've got the High Evolutionary making his first, let's be real here, live action debut, and then you also got Will Poulter as Adam Warlock making his appearance. So that's going to be interesting too.
Right. Yeah. How powerful or OP are they going to make him? What's his level of involvement in the story going to be?
Exactly. Could be anything. So okay.
Yeah, I know we mentioned the Shazam earlier, but I had this as a little note, and I'll see how everybody reacts to it. But my thought, like, how do you say you don't read the comic?
Oh, sorry.
Too soon.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I got excited. Keep going.
How do you say you don't read the comics without saying you don't read the comics? So talking about The Rock thwarted Black Adam from appearing in Shazam. So
Drew really wants to talk about this. Drew, would you like to start?
Oh no, that wasn't. That was just, that's how you do it without saying it.
Yeah, my reaction, Leo, to that joke is ba-dum-bum.
Yeah. It's like we know Superman was in Black Adam, and I just don't get it. Black Adam is a Shazam villain. Like, why wouldn't he want to show up in Shazam?
Yeah, but Leo, did you watch last week's episode? Because we covered this in detail for about 15 minutes.
I didn't watch it yet.
Well, you should. It's a great episode.
I
was there. Rich was there. Drew
was there.
Drew totally was there. I can confirm it.
Harry was there too, I think.
What this just strikes me
out for a little bit.
What this strikes me is just The Rock was way too confident about this. He thought this was going to be a best-selling blockbuster film, and when it didn't do what he expected, he's just trying to cut his losses. And I'm just like, man, just let it go. Like, not every movie you make is going to be a cinematic darling,
It's also tough. He should have known better going into the comic world. Like, if geeks don't really love something, they're not going to show up. We're an odd breed. It takes a lot to get us out of the house.
Yeah, it's the damn intro version.
And as we said last week, if you don't subscribe to at least some of the original lore and you just want to totally go against that and make it all about you and your ego and how you want to do it. It's me and Superman because we're the best. Well, go fuck yourself. And that's what the world told them.
Well, but Velvet, there's a way that you can, but it just wasn't balanced. There's a way you can, like you said, you can reference the source material, but maybe you put your own spin on it. I mean, comic book creators have been doing that for ages, you know, but just the way he went about it was more, this is my vision.
Yeah,
you know,
I
The
think,
Rock.
I think to quote Drew Mollo last week, you can't just throw out 75 years of lore.
Yeah,
that guy's smart. You should probably put him on a show. You know, something
And that Leo.
Mustache.
Yeah, and I have to apologize. Like, I was on last week's show. Like, my brain is. It was.
Listen, you're brain fogging it, man. It's okay.
Dude,
you're John Carpenter's The Mist right now, man.
Okay,
I meant
so
the fog. It's okay, man.
This weekend kicked my ass, and it's probably like the
yeah. How was the Canna Expo?
It was 2 long days.
Leo, man. How was it? Were you slapping the best man?
Holy shit! They weren't letting anything in, but obviously they must have missed people because the aroma of cannabis. The room I was in smelled like weed the entire weekend. Like it was. I must have got like a second contact high or something from it. Like That's why my brain's mush. You know.
Fantastic.
Yeah, try rooming with Velvet. I understand.
But it was all business. Just real quick, Jar Jar, you might have liked it because it was a lot of the business side of cannabis.
I was watching a few of the streams. They were interesting. I was kind of shocked that they actually pulled a crowd though, because like it as you said, it's more the business. It's not the fun woohoo. Hey, we're getting high. It's talking about getting your product out to people, the different kinds of products you can make. It's very interesting.
What was shocking was, and I will move on to comic news, but like there wasn't a dead panel. Like when you go to a Comic-Con, every now and then you'll have like a panel where there's only like 2 people in.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a dead one. I mean, there was like, I think the lowest panel had like about 10 people in it, but most of them were like half full. It was crazy.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, Leo, did you get to connect with? I saw Lewis from Wepa Farms was out there, and I know you were going to work on his website at one point. Did you guys connect that day? Or out there?
We did not. No, but he was pretty out of it when he was there.
Oh yeah,
he was.
You saw him and you saw he looked pretty
I recorded the panel he was in.
He was in one of the panels. Okay.
Yeah, he was in one of the panels and he apologized.
Yeah, he was.
He took a massive hit before coming in and he started saying like some weird shit, like he carries like 4 pounds of weed with him, at all times and stuff. It was like going across the borders. It was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
Before he went legal and had his own farm, he was an independent purveyor. And actually,
a couple of ounces.
When he came back into the area, because he went to the Midwest for a while, I actually employed him when I owned the Nerd Bagel shop that I had for over a decade. So
I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about that place, reminiscing.
Yes, the old days. But I don't work 120 hours a week anymore, so it's better.
Nope.
And I get to talk to you about nerd shit instead.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Speaking of nerd shit, let's get back to it.
If you want to cook for us, Rich, get to it. I mean, I will not stop you. Your food was delicious. Delicious.
Thank you.
So
maybe the two of I was just gonna say maybe the two of you should go into business and do like weed related.
Rich, I never even thought of that. Like
infused bagels and
Leo, stick to your keyboards. Okay. God. I will say this before we get to talking about this week's book. I don't feel like I'll ask you this. What are you guys reading lately? Like book wise? Are you reading anything?
I've got a few things that I haven't actually read yet, but the new He-Man's out. Dungeons and Dragons is out.
Oh, nice.
And that came out this week. Dungeons and Dragons actually comes out tomorrow, but I get my comics a day early. And
nice.
Batman, of course, and Darkwing Duck. Anybody? No.
Let's get into it.
I haven't found anything lately like mainstream DC Marvel that I'm like, oh, I gotta check this out. But the little side things, the Saturday morning cartoon stuff, is really hitting me in the nostalgia.
Oh yeah. What about you, Velvet?
Honestly, I've been neglecting my extracurricular reading activities. But did we finish up with the news since we moved on to that?
Oh yeah, I thought that was our last thing.
Leo, was that your last one?
That was my last one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was doing a little filler.
Oh, I
hopefully
apologize. I had two because I wasn't sure if we were done with the news or not.
Oh,
sorry, Velvet. I thought we were done, so that's why I was twitching the subject to something different.
All right, back to the news.
I apologize. I have two quick ones. So the Joker 2 set photos reveal a possible major Batman villain reference. There's a sign that references Harvey Dent, saying Harvey Dent is a clown. And also, I think it was the day after our last show, they revealed the Harley first initially as Lady Gaga as Harley, rather, which I wasn't particularly overwhelmed with. I wasn't even quite whelmed with it, but I'm still trying to keep an open mind, and we shall see what the movie shall bring.
Well,
and
I need to confess something to all of you. I have never seen Joker.
Me either.
Oh, wow!
Look at Leo's face right now. Don't break your glasses, Jimmy.
Yeah, like
I was really against Joaquin when I first heard about it, and I was like, well, I'm still trying to keep an open mind, but what I had seen in the trailer, I wasn't impressed with. But when I came out of that movie, I was like, all right. It wasn't perfect, but they were doing some shit. That's for sure. I think, Drew, you would be neglecting yourself as a nerd if you do not catch that.
Oh no, it's on my list, Velvet. As I've explained to you guys before, I just have this thing when something is just universally praised and just like everyone's lauding it and whatnot. I kind of get like a little turned off because it's like, is it really that good? So for me, I just kind of like to come to it at my own terms, so that I can enjoy it. And if I loved it, I'm like, okay, great, But if I don't, that's fine too, Like, sure. I don't care for Avatar, but yet Avatar made billions of dollars. Whatever.
Absolutely. What if we added Joker as like a review of the week, like instead of a book?
Oh, you want to do it as a subject?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely
forcing Drew to watch it. Is that what we're trying to do here, Leo?
Not forcing.
He had a little sinister smile there. I loved it. There's a little Joker in Leo. He showed us when he did the voice.
Well, we've seen that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and the biggest news thing of the week that I'm a little hesitant to talk about, but I think we would be remiss if we did not. The gentleman that plays Kang the Conqueror was arrested for assaulting, I believe, his girlfriend or his significant other.
Oh, no.
And in the first article I was reading was saying that she had like injuries, but the next day she recanted everything. And then the third day, there were articles coming out saying that it's been well known for years that he is a serial abuser. And finally, something's coming out, but nobody's willing to put their name to it. So far, these are just rumor articles. So again, I'm weird to talk about it because I don't know. Everything is so up in the air, and it's gone from one thing to two things to three things. He's lost a few contracts, I believe, which again happened to like Justin Roiland when everything came out, and even though Justin Roiland was acquitted, there's still some really fucked up shit that came out during that trial that, still makes me think that.
Oh, I didn't even know he got acquitted.
I'm sorry, Drew. Go ahead.
I said I didn't even know he got acquitted, Velvet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
in the
okay.
court of law, he got acquitted. Mm-hmm.
But his career is definitely taken a bit of a downward spiral because of it.
Well, the thing with Justin Roiland's story was, a lot of people came out like right after that was announced. Jonathan Majors, I don't know if anybody has, like you said, Rich, put their name to it. Unfortunately, he did lose his Army contract because he was doing ads for the Army, and he lost something else. But apparently, from what I understand, she claimed that she was attacked in the cab, and they're saying, well, if this happened in the cab, then possibly the cab driver can cover for her, but I don't know if he's come forward yet. So yeah, the lawyer released some information, but I'm sure a lot of stuff is going to come out over the next coming days.
Yeah,
whether this is accurate or not. It's I know it's difficult for when news like this comes in. I know a lot of people are quick to come to judgment, say cancel them without knowing anything.
I wouldn't say anything.
Right, which is why I wanted to preface before talking about it how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, it's still an ongoing discussion, Velvet. Like you said, nothing's been determined. The facts and the details are a little sketchy, so we can't make any concrete assumption. We just know that there's been reports, and more details will likely come out as the story unfolds.
Right, and I'm thankful that thus far Marvel has not jumped because Jonathan Majors as Kang is the major baddie in the next phase of the MCU. So,
yeah, but at the same time, Velvet, if really push came to shove, it's not the first time they've recasted characters. I mean, War Machine is the best example.
Right.
Probably an easy, simple explain away too if they just recast it.
Well, yeah, he's a time traveler, so
some kind of shit went wrong with time travel or fucking whatever.
Absolutely. And so I don't know. Do you guys think any more talking about this is worthwhile, or that's about it?
I think we got to wait till there's more details, Velvet. But at least we opened. We know where the door is.
We're not afraid to talk about it, which I like. I like that we're open.
No, we're not. But like you said, Velvet, we'd rather talk when there's more details. There's a concrete understanding, and it's like you said, it's really a strange situation. So, but we've also seen in these things, we've seen what happens when the public jumps to, judges before the jury is out, and then when they're wrong, they look ridiculous. So.
Absolutely. All right. And then my final piece for tonight is actually a news piece about me.
Oh,
one of my favorite subjects.
Oh, okay. This is what we're building up to.
So guys, as you know, if you watch the show, I've been, since last Terrificon, I've been working on my video content on all 4 of the major platforms. And overall, I'm doing about 150,000, 160,000 views a month, which I'm very proud of. And but the news part is about a month ago, comic artist Joe St. Pierre, who we've had on the show and who I've built a relationship with, reached out to me. And he asked me, hey, Rich, who does your videos? And I was like, I do, Joe. I've been teaching myself since Terrificon. And he's like, I really like what you do. I'm thinking about, maybe sending you a couple of things and maybe you could see what you could do with it. And number one, I'm honored and flattered that comic artist of his caliber would even approach me. And so I did some internet research. I reached out to Joe for a little more direction, which he gave me none. And
that's how the creatives are.
Yeah. Well, these things happen. So, I did my thing. I did a deep dive and I put out a piece of content and then I sent it back to him within about a week. And his reply to me was laugh out loud, thanks, Rich. And that was it. And it was like a punch to the gut because I thought that he hated what I sent him. But come last night, all of a sudden I'm looking online and I see on Instagram, Joe has not only posted the piece that I made for him, tagged me on it and said, look what my friend Velvet Joker did for me, made me this cool promo. And it has over 1,000 views across. He's put it on Instagram, Facebook, and now TikTok. I'm so proud of it. It's my first official professional commission, and yay me.
Oh, Rich.
So I was on top of the world last night when that all happened.
Yay! That's awesome, man.
Very cool.
Somebody put some Gary Glitter on.
Yeah, I wanted to share.
You know?
I need some Rocky music.
I'm good. I'm fine.
Do the work, guys. Do the work. People will reach out to you.
Yes, the last thing you need is these 4 nerds in the gym. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah.
Carrie says, great job. You've been kicking ass, and that's what it's awesome. And that's what hard work is paying off. Woohoo!
Thank you, Carrie.
Indeed.
Yeah. And,
okay.
Before I know we didn't get to it. She says, I've never read a Darkwing comic. Jeremy doesn't have. Yeah, I am the terror.
He does. Here's one. I am the scrupulous sculptor who chisels justice from the surface of sinister stones. I am Darkwing Duck.
And I always used to love that for Darkwing Duck, it would always be something different, but it's just, it's such a play on, it's just such a Batman moment. But
yeah,
I can never remember one specific, but it just, you had that I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the car alarm that interrupts your robbery. I'm just like, I can't. And then, of course, it's voiced by Jim Cummings. So, you can't get any better than that. Disney royalty right there.
Yeah. What happened to V?
Yeah, where'd you go, Rich?
Come back to us. So, anybody have any contact with Ben?
Come back to where you once belong. Yeah, we're in a musical mood today. We should at some point do like a Splash Pages karaoke.
Can we do a musical episode? Oh my God. You know how like a lot of sitcoms have their musical episode? We gotta have an episode where we just sing everything.
Jeremy, I'm just letting you know that's genius, and I will start working on that immediately.
That would be.
I did hear some rumblings about a late night Patreon thing where we would possibly do 1 or 2 freebies, and then after that, charge for some special content.
Yeah, we're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna do a reading. I believe we already have the next one on the schedule.
Late night after dark.
Yeah, I thought we were doing it on 4/21, or is that 4/20? It's got to be 21.
No, it wasn't 4/20. It was the weekend after that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Should we do a 4/20 special then instead?
Well, you guys can if you want. I'm busy on 4/20.
I'm very busy on 4/20 and not in a fun way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm getting
No, Jeremy, you're busy in April the same way accountants are busy. You got number crunches.
Are you starting to plant for the year?
Oh, no. Well, I'll start planting in April, but they won't go out until May. But those will be fine. No, I'm getting dental work done on the 20th. I'm getting dental work done next Thursday, and then, which is the 8th, I believe, or something like that. And then on the 20th, I'm getting more work done.
So Jeremy, you are indeed confirming that it is going to be May.
May is when stuff goes into the ground. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for also not getting. Maybe I should have made that joke a bit more specific, but that's fine.
So Jeremy,
April
since we're talking about it,
May
and you are close to planting again, what is your current coffers, if you will.
Coffers? How much do I have left?
Yes.
Tons. I'm actually only putting out 6 plants this year because of how much I have left.
Hey, Rich,
really?
did you see Pineapple Express? It's like that. It's like the
really
bunker
is.
in Pineapple Express. There's a Rancor down
actually, and don't quote me on this yet, because this is.
Wait, you got to
on
say
my
off
head
the
right now.
record.
Off the record, I may be quitting smoking and going to just an edible diet.
Wow.
I know.
Oh my God.
You know, because smoking anything can be bad for your health.
Velvet, are you going sober too? Like I can't take
Not
much more surprises. Like, Leo, are you getting LASIK now? What is going on? The world's upside down.
I've asked about LASIK, and with my eyes, I can't get it.
At some point, I have to talk to you about those candy mushrooms you got and figure that out.
Well, did you say candy? What Super Mario Bros. Food are you making for the movie? Candy mushrooms. Get out of here with that.
Well, there is mushroom infused chocolate, but I talked about that. I had a not great.
Yeah.
But it is great stuff.
But it is great stuff, Heather's saying over there.
Yeah. So
there you go. If the Harley says it is,
email
then
you
it
about that. She says you're welcome to email her about that, Jeremy.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you.
Well, fantastic.
I have a wonderful yard that I would love to just have fun in one night, and I haven't in a long time. So, hey, we should get back to the show.
Yeah, but I just want to say I can confirm you take enough of Jar Jar's stuff, you can have an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, it's called Terrificon 2023.
Well,
nice.
Yeah,
brownies are being made tomorrow.
Yeah. Drew and I are going to have a room right there at the con. So.
It's going to be
over the weekend.
Listen, dead poo might get a little litty. That Terrificon. That's all I'm going to say.
Drew, I told you about my experience making brownies, right?
Yes, and I'm still laughing.
Licking the batter.
Because like everything you do, Leo, when you tell me the story, I'm just like another gem in the collective bag of Leo's rubies. Like, thank you.
For bringing up more comic creator stuff, I was very happy that Keith Giffen accepted my friend request yesterday.
Nice.
You know what? He's such a curmudgeon, but I love him. And it's funny because some of my friends convinced him to go tell me to go fuck myself, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. I got told to go fuck myself by Keith Giffen. Like, nice. I'm going moving up in the world.
I jumped right on his Facebook site, and apparently he's starting his own podcast.
Oh, good for him.
God. Grumpy old man does comics.
He should have Howard Chaykin as a co-host.
Oh my God. Grumpier old comic book men. That's what that thing is called.
It's just
Ed Kupperberg in there, and woof.
No, then that's a comic book nursing home. You just keep adding these older creators.
Sorry, hit the wrong button.
God damn it, Leo. Label them, why don't you? All right, so we're near the hour mark. I guess we should talk about our book.
Yeah, it looks like our guest, unfortunately, the writer of our book this week, Séance Room, for whatever reason, something must have happened. I'm sure he'll be back on another time, but we did get to, he got to share with us 8 of his issues, and we got to read them, and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to just talk about them briefly and maybe save the more meat and bones for if Ben comes back on the show?
Oh, that might be a good idea. Just go into a brief overlook of them, each one. Yeah, I mean,
I feel like, because
absolutely,
again, this isn't the first time we've had a situation like this where something comes up, and we've made it work every time. But I don't want us to repeat ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, Ben does have a bunch of other comics, including Battlefield or Battle Cats, Tales of Valdaria, Beyond, RV9. I can't even read my writing tonight, but he has other comics. That's the point.
So, but I just need to say, having having really not read much of Ben's stuff, I thoroughly enjoyed this series. Like, reading it, I didn't realize how much I missed good old-fashioned horror comics. And this one...
Drew, let me just interrupt you for 1 second.
Sure.
If you want to start, why don't you try to explain what the Seance Room is? So that our viewers get an idea of what we're talking about in this whole... Every book is around the Seance Room.
Yes.
Right. So, essentially, thank you, Velvet. And you're right. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so I'm going to backpedal. So the Seance Room is a horror nexus child of the Twilight Zone meets Vincent Price Presents meets EC Comics. So you have essentially a haunted house where its curator literally makes you choose your own poison. And by poison, I mean you are essentially selected by a collection of spirits, which one decides that they're going to fuck with you. And by fuck, I mean punish you for some sin or transgression. Yeah, so I think that's the best way to describe it in my own unique way. I don't know if anyone else has anything to add.
Yeah, that was pretty precise.
Thank you.
You are on point.
For once, I know. I should have been a stickler.
So Ben describes it as Twilight Zone meets Tales from the Crypt.
Perfect.
That makes sense because it's anthology. Yeah.
And every issue is a standalone story, which I absolutely love.
Absolutely. It had such a nice beginning, middle, and end. And I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of I always call him the narrator because I think Mr. Weiss is his real name. Mm-hmm. I always enjoyed him acknowledging us, the reader, in a lot of his stories.
Sure.
You know,
what issue would you guys say was your favorite? I especially loved issue 7, I think it was, because of the artwork. The artwork was just phenomenal for my taste.
Honestly,
not issue 7. I'm sorry, issue 6.
I liked all of them, honestly. They all really worked very well. I loved the Halloween one especially. That one, but I'm also gonna save. One of my favorites was the Hack Slash crossover, but I'll save that for the end.
That was cool stuff.
I also.
What about you, Leo?
Hold on, we're saying. So Carrie says, as a huge horror nerd, I was really into this. The art was amazing, as was the writing. I felt that the first 2 stories were the most effective and haunting. The others weren't bad, just not as gripping. Story wise, I really enjoyed the second one. Like, that was pretty fucked up with the tree.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, but the
that was twisted. Because you've heard of people like getting their family members as their whatever, plant a tree, you know, and it was just like, wow.
Oh yeah.
Imagine.
And he's there in pain. Like, every story had its own, like, I love the twist. Well, not really the twist, but you know, the sort of like gotcha moment in each one. But the second one really struck out for me. And then the I don't know Hack and Slash, but I did really enjoy that issue. Like Rich said, the Halloween issue, I loved the art in Halloween issue.
It was great.
Yeah, I mean, the art all around is you know, each one's unique and different, but I'd have to say the last 2, the Halloween issue and the Hack Slash, I enjoyed the art the best in both of those.
Well, for me, I thought it was really interesting. The very first issue has no words; it's all pictures.
Yeah, that was very interesting, and I thought that there was something wrong with it. I was like, did I mess up something with the copy? And I was like, no, yeah, it's a silent issue, and what a great issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think my favorite overall story was, like Leo said, the one with the tree that was super fucked up with the reincarnated husband. I thought that was really an insane, enjoyable story.
Yeah, because
and while I really liked the story of the Halloween one, the art was like almost overwhelming my eyes.
Okay.
So while I really enjoyed that story, I enjoyed the most, but the art I did the least. And then again, for an overall story, number 2.
This one, I have to say this as a film fan and as someone who gets caught up in his own nostalgia. This one, the guy in the movie theater, I thought was the closest the Seance Room gets to a happy ending.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I think it's interesting how Ben writes, because I don't know if he likes fucking with the audience or there's a little bit of disdain toward the audience, which I was hoping to get into it with him. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that.
Well, the 5th issue where it's where he brings the reader into the seance room.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was messed up, especially the last page. The story was a lie. Your effort today was pointless, and someday you will die. Best regards, Harry. Like that. What the fuck? Like,
thanks, Harry.
Yeah, he likes fucking with the reader a little bit.
See, I wish Ben was here, because Ben does this really cool thing that I don't think many other writers have taken advantage of. Because, you know, as artists, they can always do commissions for people and like draw little whatever art pieces for whoever. Writers don't have, or don't usually have, that kind of outlet. Ben took it and actually takes little postcards and writes little personal horror stories for people as commissions. That's really
awesome.
Kind of cool.
That's cool.
If he's ever at a con, I'm gonna get a horror story for all of us.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing that he does.
If he's ever we see him at like every con.
Yeah, well now we have a purpose.
You have a reason.
There's a purpose now, Leo.
That reminds me, at the last, not the last con, but one of the last cons I went to, I got a Tim Jones commission done. And then
Nice.
I freaked out at the con because I was all there all by myself, and I left before he was done.
Oh no.
God damn it, Jeremy.
So I still got to pick it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he messaged me seeing if I was in contact with you. Just real quick, the reason why I like the artwork in the 7th one, like the other stories were so dire, and the art along with it, you know, I thought this was more like a palette cleanser. Like I read them all in one swoop. So this year the artwork, since it was so, you know, jovial, I took that as like a palette cleanser until like the Hack Slash episode or issue.
Leo, it fit the Halloween theme.
Yeah.
And one thing I did love about the Halloween issue, just before we get to the Hack Slash, is I did love the things he was doing with the jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah.
With the symbols. That was so cool.
Yeah.
So before we just discuss briefly, I just wanted to kind of have a little footnote about Hack and Slash for people who haven't read it, who maybe want to read into it. So Hack Slash is essentially was co-created by Tim Seeley, who we had on the show ages ago, talking about his Black Label book, Superman versus Lobo. So essentially, this is one where it's describing a world where people are plagued by slashers, which are a variety of horror movie villains who, you know, kill people. They're very hard to die. It's very hard to kill them. They have all shapes and sizes and whatnot. So basically, in this world, Cassie, who is the daughter of a famous slasher, decides to join her associate, Vlad, who's the taller Frankenstein-looking motherfucker. And they go around the world, U.S., wherever, and their purpose is to find and kill slashers. So, you know, she's a play on the final girl. He is, I don't know, zombie-looking, Frankenstein-looking sidekick kind of guy, but more partner.
Drew,
and yeah,
so
this is them on their journey.
Drew, when you say slashers, like their movie slashers come out of the movies and then they have to track them down? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, no. So basically, they have their own slashers, like, villains who kill for whatever reason, who are maybe undead or just something. So it's almost like slashers, like, murderers of that caliber. They're their own like super villain virus.
Oh, okay. So they're of a mystical nature.
Something like that. Yeah. And it's great because the series also crossed over with some really great horror properties, like Hack Slash had a crossover with Chucky from Child's Play, had a crossover with Victor Crowley from Hatchet. They had a great crossover with Hack Slash with Army of Darkness. So it was wonderful. So reading this was such a pleasant surprise, and it was just so great seeing Cassie and Vlad do what they do best. And I definitely going to have us go over this. I would love for us to read this and review this, maybe closer to Halloween this year. I think that would be really great. So, being that you guys didn't know much about these characters, what did you think?
It was fun. It was definitely one of my favorite books out of all of them. Art is great, and the storyline, really the end is just funny, where they're talking to each other and they're walking away and like pretty much saying, let's not talk about this anymore.
Yep. That's Cassie and Vlad. They're kind of like that.
I love little not really dig, but they mentioned Tim. They said we're not just saying this because Tim's reading or something like that.
Yeah, I love that. We're not just talking just to please Tim, because Tim's reading. I'm like, oh my god, referencing their creator.
They must have had to get permission to use the characters, obviously.
Oh, 100%. But Tim Seeley's a really chill guy. I've met him both, interviews, and I've also met him in person. He's very chill. So, but no, honestly,
cool.
I
didn't
this.
really know these characters at all, Drew. So for me, this was kind of fun and interesting to get acquainted with them. And I thought it was really interesting, which I mentioned earlier, that Slash actually scared the witch. She's like, nah, I'm not fucking with this.
Oh, yeah.
So that made me be like, oh, what's up with this big Taliban looking motherfucker?
Yeah. Trust me, Vlad is a very interesting backstory. So I wasn't really surprised that because of that.
Okay.
So
yeah, it was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I liked the interaction with these two universes, even though I had no previous knowledge of Hack Slash except for
which was
you guys talking about it and talking about Tim Seeley and with Dr. Chris.
Which was good, actually, because I think all three of us, me, you, and Leo, none of us had, I've heard of Hack Slash, but I've never actually read any of it.
You should.
I didn't feel like I was missing, like, a chunk of story or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Good. No, you definitely should read more of it.
So what do you guys think? Should we rate this bad boy as a whole?
See, that makes it easier when Ben's not here to rate, huh? Now I can throw it down at a 1 and be like, ha! F you, Ben. No.
So, Leo, do you want to start off?
Yeah, I'm going to give these a solid 4. I really enjoyed them, and solid 4.
Okay. Velvet?
Nice. I'm going to go just a pinch higher than Leo with 4 1/4. And I hope everyone's digging my results Joker shirt that I got from our buddy Brandon on Christmas. So
that's very nice.
Mention that and give him a little bing bing. Thanks, Brandon.
There you go.
Your powers.
What about you, Jeremy?
I'll stick right around Velvet and be like 4 1/4, and be like 4 1/4 spinny top things.
Yeah, there you go.
Wonderful.
A dreidel, maybe?
Honestly, I'm gonna maybe go a little further. Maybe I'm gonna go 4.35. so a little bit more than a quarter. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I would definitely recommend this to anyone who's a horror fan. But it's just nice to read full beginning, middle, end stories like this. This to me, I felt
agree.
could be a really good anthology series.
Especially, he didn't start this too long ago as an indie as well, and usually with indies, you're waiting and waiting and waiting for the next issue. And
it was great.
While with this series, I don't think that would be a problem because, as you said, it's got a beginning, middle, end. Each book is like, bam, you're there, finish it. You're not sitting there waiting for the next 4 issues to come out, but he's already got them.
Yeah, and his last Kickstarter was pretty successful, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're nice. They're easy reads. It's quick.
Oh, yeah.
They're all around 24, 26 pages. There's no ads in between. It's all art.
And the dialogue is he doesn't it's not too wordy where he allows the art to do some speaking.
It's a nice ambiance. I mean, again, like I said, hopefully we'll have Ben on the show again sometime soon, and we can really pick his brain about it and really go a little bit more in the depth about it. But I think as an introduction to people who maybe like us didn't know, I think this is a great book to start and support because
it's put out by Sourcepoint Press.
Yep.
Who I, if I'm not, doesn't Steve Van Samson put out his books through Sourcepoint Press as well?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah, and I think that's horror genre too. So that must just be their jam, horror.
Actually, no, they do quite a bit. I know they were putting out this book called Salvagers a while, which was a space kind of sci-fi kind of thing.
Okay.
But they do a lot of interesting books. There was this. Well, we'll get into that another time, I guess. But
so Leo, do you want to sign us off?
Yeah, we'll sign us off. And so that was 4.35 soccer balls from you, Ted. I mean, Drew.
Yes. Don't worry. And I'm Italian too.
I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. For me, just Google Leo Ponte, find a bunch of stuff that could be true, could be not. But I'm not going to say which is which. And apparently, I was here last week, and I'm mush.
Gotta move on.
Okay, yeah, check out these awesome dudes. I do a bunch of stuff, bunch of other shows, but I love talking with these fine gentlemen every Tuesday. And we'll kick it over to Jar Jar.
Come check us out next Tuesday here on Splash Pages. Tomorrow night you can check me out on the Midweek Geeks. And then, actually, I think that's the only other show I'm doing right now. But come over to Facebook, check out Comic Book Lovers Buy, Sell, Trade, and Auction House. And that's it. Drew, what do you got?
Hello, I'm Drew. When I'm not figuring out what costume that I can do wearing this mustache, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, GhostbusterMan1984, and you'll also be witnessing my dramatic reintroduction to writing for Screen Rant in their comics department. So I'm extremely not available, but you can always message me and see if you might get lucky. Who knows? Maybe it's your day. But
Ooh, I got a new one for you, Chuck Norris.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Your tears could kill cancer. It's too bad you don't cry.
Velvet.
Hey, it's your man, the Throwback King, Velvet J. And if you guys want to check out my content, which Joe St. Pierre thought was good enough to hire me to do a commission, then you should check me out on YouTube at Velvet Joker 1 or on TikTok, Velvet Joker 1. Velvet Joker 1. Velvet Joker 1. Get on it, Jeremy.
Velvet Joker 1. It's Velvet Joker 1. Oh, sorry.
Okay, no, I wasn't dreaming. Okay, good. All right.
Oh, with that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Have a good night.
Night.
Ghostbusters 1984.
Shut it.